Hi guys, I thought maybe I would come on here and we could talk about catnip a little bit. Here is a catnip plant. This one is in bloom. Catnip likes to grow, it says it likes to grow full sun. I've always found that if I have it in full sun that the leaves tend to get a little sunburnt. So I grow part shade with mine. And I have a bigger catnip patch, but when I went down there to try to film, I noticed that it was like surrounded with a bunch of poison ivy, and I'm already fighting poison ivy, so I'm not about to play that right now. But I wanted to talk about catnip specifically because it's something that is so gentle. This is one of the, when it comes to herb crafting, and especially people beginning out with herb crafting, catnip is one that is really pretty gentle. It's pretty easy to identify, I think, and it's something that, people have even used for babies. Now, I am not saying go out, get you a bunch of catnip and start dosing up your kids, I'm not a fucking doctor, you guys. So you guys gotta be smart. Let me grab one of these leaves. They're kind of a little bit heart-shaped. Oh, and it smells so good. Catnip is amazing. It has a lot of volatile oils in it, and I think that might also be perhaps because this is of the mint family. Plants in the mint family have a kind of a square stem. You can kind of rub your fingers around it and feel the edges. This one is flowering right now, and that's good. I like to make tinctures early in the spring and then again whenever they are flowering. I find that when they're flowering, you get more of an instant effect. And I use catnip for anxiety. It is mildly sedative. It's something that you can use, in a tincture or a tea. You can smoke it, and I do. Now, make sure that if you guys are going to be using and working with catnip, that you please, please, please get catnip. Like, don't go to the store, don't go to PetSmart and get catnip that's intended to get your cats high, okay? Don't do that, because you don't know where that catnip has grown. You don't know what, insecticides they've used around those plants. You don't know how close those plants are to a major highway where you're getting exhaust fumes and things like that. Make sure that, this is the easiest plant to freaking grow, you guys. If you guys want to start an herb garden, start with catnip, because this is actually invasive. You can find this stuff everywhere. It loves to grow down by the water. It loves moist conditions. So look down like around rivers and things. Full sun, part shade. I prefer part shade because they do tend to get sunburned leaves if it's too sunny. But this stuff is like, it is good. It's a digestive herb. It'll ease menstrual cramps. And on that note, I want to add also, avoid this if you're pregnant. Seriously. Avoid everything if you're pregnant, but avoid especially, yeah. This is not one you want to use for pregnancy, but it does ease menstrual cramps and flatulence, which is good, especially in my household. Colic in infants. And for that, you'd want to take perhaps and make a little pouch that you could, have around the baby. They used to hang them at, these little pouches with dried catnip in it around a baby's neck, but, I don't think we need to make little baby nooses. The leaves can be chewed for toothaches. And like I said, you can smoke it for bronchitis and asthma. Really, really, really effective. I roll mine with some mullein. You can do catnip, mullein, and then I like to put a little bit of dried peppermint in there. It's really, really good. It also has a mild antibiotic to it. And if you've got a fever, this is a diaphoretic, so it's going to promote sweating. So, yeah. All right. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go set up, and we're going to get this tincture out, and I'll talk more about working with this plant. Okay, can you guys tell how fucking hot it is out here today? It's like stupid hot. Okay, so I have this catnip tincture that my son and I harvested the end of April. No, it was the 1st of May. See, I have it written on my jar so that I don't forget, because I promise you will forget if you don't write things on your jar. I just have it written on the jar lid, but you will forget every time. I know you think you're going to remember it, but you won't. You won't remember when you picked that plant and started a tincture. Now, I'm going to show you how to get this out of here and into here easily. You start with a clean, sterile jar, right? This is a canning funnel, and I'm just going to do this. This is a nut milk bag, by the way. These are great. You can do this with cheesecloth or, you know, any cloth that you really want to that's going to filter the tincture through. But this right here I find is super duper easy. So I'm just going to put that down in there like that. I'm going to wrap this nut milk bag around the top. Yes, I said nut milk. It's for almonds, you guys. So then you take this tincture that I've had sitting in there for all this time, and then you just pour it through. And see how easy that is? Oh, look at the color. Now this tincture was made with 100 proof vodka and fresh leaves of catnip. So then now you take that up and look, there are some plants that I will wear gloves for this part, and I darn sure wear gloves. If this were an infused oil, I'd be wearing gloves, but since this is just catnip tincture, I just squeeze all of it out. And these bags are great because you can sterilize them. They're nylon. Some people are actually allergic to cotton. You can sterilize these. So it's really good. You can reuse them. They're amazing. I keep them hanging in my pantry all the time. So look at that. That came out pretty good, don't you think? Okay, so now that we have that, you can get on Amazon and get these little dropper bottles. And they come with little labels, which is handy. But you don't have to have these. You can do whatever. You can use old medicine bottles, whatever. I went ahead and I put the sticker on there with what this is because I don't want to forget. Once again, I don't want to forget, and I can't depend on my nose to tell me every time. Now, when they send you these little things, they'll send you these little funnels, and I promise you, if you try to put this into this with one of these little fucking funnels, it's not going to be easy. So I have a solution. If I can find it, there it is. Okay. Go to your feed store, get you one of these. And it's great because it's got graduations on the side, so you can just, if you know what this holds, you can just suck it up in there. Look at that, guys. Easy peasy. This right here, you guys, is amazing for anxiety. It just really, really, really is. If you're having trouble sleeping, if you're having menstrual issues, if you've got a fever, this is diaphoretic, so it's going to help you to sweat. Oh, look at the ducks. Hey, guys. Hi. Come on. Come see everybody. That's Herman and Lulu and Ted Bundy and Charlie Manson and Pinky and Floyd. Okay, so then now I have this done. Voila. Now, when it comes to taking tinctures, start off with just literally like 1 or 2 drops at a time. You can put it in a drink of water. You can put it in your tea. You can put it directly under your tongue. That's sublingually, and that's going to like slam your system hard. It's going to hit you pretty quick. But start off slow and then really listen to your body and see how you feel. Don't just like, listen to what some book says and say, oh yeah, you can take this much or that much. start off slow and work up, because we all metabolize things differently. And yeah, I need to do a video on good books for this stuff. There's a lot of really good books out there, and there are some that are better than others. So yeah, there's that. Now, you know, I can keep this, because this is alcohol. I can keep this in my pantry for a long time. If I only have one of these bottles to fill up, I can just keep filling it up this way. I happen to have a bunch of them. But this isn't going to go bad. Keep it in your pantry in a cool, you know, dark place. Don't keep it in direct sunlight. Don't try to cook it. It's going to do great in a cool, dark place. It'll keep for quite a while, and you'll know if it's off. Oh, somebody coming up the driveway. All right, well, I'm going to get off of here. I hope that was at least enlightening to somebody. I know a lot of you already know how to do this stuff. Okay, I'm going to get off here. Bye, guys.